Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to my latest review. And now we're taking a look at the ZX Spectrum version of Indoor Soccer, published by Magnificent 7 Software in 1986, created by Gary Michael Ritchie and Graham Nunn, as well as coming out for the 48K Spectrum. It also came out for the Amstrad CPC, BBC Micro and Commodore Plus 4. Now, what prompted me to give this a go is that on the Saturday just gone, which at the time of recording this video was the 28th of January 2023, YouTuber Novabug did his usual weekly Amstrad Live Games testing, in which one of the games he featured was the Amstrad CPC version of this very same game. So, as I had a Spectrum Plus when I was younger, I thought I'd see what that particular version was like. And you can have one or two players, just like pretty much any other reasonable football game. Although in this version, if you have a two-player simultaneous game, then you've got to have one person playing on joystick. Although it lists a player two keyboard controls, my understanding from what I've read is that you can't both be using the keyboard. From what I've seen when I was researching this game prior to recording this, the original price was £4.95, which I'd say was somewhere in between budget and full price. Because even at that time, a full price game could have ranged from £6.95 to £8.95 or something along those lines. So it's already set to one player game, and we'll set it to a medium. So I'll enter my name here. So I'm the blue team. And I haven't got, and as we can see, everything's incredibly choppy and jerky. Oh my, it looks like these goalies are automatically controlled by the, oh no, they're not. Oh, we've got some digitized speech. Oh my God, look at the size of that, the heads in that crowd. What do they look like? I mean, they look very interested, don't they? But as interested as I am, I haven't even been playing this for all that long, and I'm not particularly enjoying this experience. Oh, God. And another problem is when you've got a whole bunch of players clumped together, of course you get the usual Spectrum problems of colour clash, and it makes it really hard to see what's going on. And somebody's actually flickering when you got two, and you probably just saw then you've got another problem that you sometimes get with not too well programmed Spectrum games insofar as if you've got I'm having a real hard time kicking this damn ball. My God. I didn't want you to control the goalie. I wanted you to control that player that was black, but it was controlling both of them. And I like the way that the celebrations of the other half. I mean, look at the animation. I mean, it looks like their feet are just sliding along the ground. Pick your feet up. Oh, I got fouled. Now, oh, blooming hell. Pick the goddamn ball, you donker. I really don't like the controls in this. And another problem is that when you're dribbling the ball like this, you're so close to the edge of the screen you can't see what's in front of you. Couldn't it have been more centralised? Oh, look at that colour clash! See, it just looks like a mess. I've been bothering to pass. I mean, it doesn't even look like you have to half the time because unlike something like match day. What? I kicked the ball and it wouldn't go in the bloody goal. No, I can't see what's going on with this whole clump of players squelched into one another. Oh, this is horrific. I mean, God, I thought Arctic's World Cup football was bad. This is... I mean, Match Day came out 2 years before this and that absolutely pisses all over this. I mean, yeah, it wasn't particularly quick, but at least it was smooth. At least you could see what was going on. And at least it wasn't a jerky, choppy, colour clash-ridden mess the way this is. I mean, yeah, Match Day had its elements of colour clash, but it was nowhere near as bad as this. And as I was trying to say see again, because that opposing player was so close to the edge of the screen, I had no idea where my goalie was. So by the time I realised where my goalkeeper was in relation to the ball, it was already too late, and there was no way I could get him to the ball in time. So, see, look at the top of the screen. There are two players that are right on top of each other, and it looks like a flickery mess. Where are my players? I see. Oh, for God's sake. Oh dear. Kick the goddamn ball. The kicking controls are so unresponsive. I can't get... Oh, another foul happened there by the looks of things. Right, so we're now going from right to left. Because obviously, now it's been half time, we've switched sides. Oh, I'm really not enjoying this at all. Look at this. It's ridiculous. I've actually managed to kick the ball somehow. But he's so close to the screen, I could be walking right into an opposing player and I'd never know until it was too late. Come on, please let me score a goal. Kick the goddamn ball! I just want him to kick the bloody ball. He won't do it more often than not. Oh, God. Oh. They use way too much colour in this. Everything's really horrible when there's a mixture of players about. I don't feel like I'm in control of the... Oh, God. I could barely tell which player had the ball because of the resulting graphical mess that was happening there. I mean, say you will about Arctic's World Cup football from 1983 or thereabouts. At least you could actually see where the ball was, and it wasn't just a graphical mess. But this, oh God, I wouldn't have paid half the £4.95 for this. I would have felt ripped off paying 49p for it. So you look at this. Oh God. More mishmashes of players. See, I didn't know they were there because it's too close to the edge of the screen. Oh God. Oh, this is horrible. Ugh. I can barely get my guys to do anything productive. Ugh. Oh, come on. I clearly got to there in time. I'm sure that went straight between, straight through him. Oh, God. Why did they just... Why did the other opposing... Will you kick the God? God, I've actually scored a goal. Even though I somehow managed to foul one. Look at that. This is one of the ugliest football games I've ever played. It's got tons of colour clash and everything so jerky and choppy that it's borderline unplayable. Especially as more often than not the player you're control. Well, come on, I clearly got that. More often than not, but kick the ball. Oh, God. I know the publishing company might have been called Magnificent Seven, but sorry, Messrs. Ritchie and Nunn, there is nothing magnificent about this. Sammo Hung in the Magnificent Busher, now that was magnificent. Steve McQueen, Yul Brynner, Robert Vaughn et al. In the Magnificent Seven film. They were magnificent. This isn't. This is just dreadful. And I can't say I've enjoyed a single second of what I've experienced of this monstrosity. Look at the way the running animations are done. It's almost like it's like they're just sliding their feet on the ground. I mean, by comparison, the animation of the players moving about was less sophisticated, and it looked great. It's almost like this is trying a bit too hard, and it just doesn't work. Oh, I had a moment there. I've forgotten. I thought it was one of their players that had the ball. When you kick the bloody ball, it doesn't work up more than not. Oh, God. This whole game is just... Oh, thank God I couldn't bear much more of that. Well, actually, I couldn't bear any more of that. That was just utterly abysmal. So that was Indoor Soccer for the ZX Spectrum. What a total waste of code that is. When you had Match Day from 2 years earlier, there's just no contest. Oh dear. Graphics, awful. The animation on the animation on the movement cycles is just laughable, and scrolling generally, the way everything moves is incredibly choppy and jerky, and it's not pleasant to look at, and they overdid the colour to the point where colour clash is just so bad that and you get flickering when you got two players almost exactly on top of one another, that causes a resulting mess that just makes everything really hard to see what's going on, and that has to be one of the worst depicted crowds I've ever seen in a sports game. I mean, they look like a bunch of pumpkins with two eyes and a mouth carved into them, and just watching a game with dead looks on their expression, on their faces, because that's literally all they do. They just sit there motionlessly watching the game, and the perspective makes them look like they're absolutely gigantic people when you look at them in comparison to the size of the players on the pitch. But oh dear. So visually, it's a joke even by 1986 Spectrum standards. Sound, well, you get a beeper tune on the opening title screen, and somewhat dubious sound effects. The only one that's particularly impressive is the goal speech sample. But and I wonder whether if they'd left out that speech sample, whether it could have potentially had a bit more work done to make the actual game better. I mean, as impressive as speech samples on the Spectrum are, if they eat up too much of the available resources, then maybe it's best that they're left out and more of the resources put towards the actual game itself to make it better than this. Gameplay. Well, the fact that everything's really jerky and that the colour clash makes certain and other clashing of the player sprites makes things really hard to follow at times, and the fact that you actually control well, when your goalie is visible, you control both him and the player that's changed colour as being the one that's most likely to get the ball. It can cause problems, as you saw. And everything just feels wrong, and more often than not, I just could not get my player to kick the ball. But yeah, I really wasn't impressed with that at all, and even at the £4.95 intermediate price tag, I don't think this is worthy of attention at all. I mean, if anyone who played Match Day from 2 years earlier would have been reduced to tears if they'd somehow got conned into buying this. A classic case of why have cotton when you could have silk. So now I'm going to give Indoor Soccer 2 out of 10. It really is atrocious, and I really can't recommend it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. Hope to catch you on another video soon. Texie88 out.